Well, hello and welcome back to the Meet the Author Monthly with Niki Hall. How are you, Nikki, today?
Hello, Ava. I'm wonderful. How are you?
I'm good too. It's so nice to be here again and to talk about books that we've taken part in, becoming international best-selling author, what it does, and things like that. So I know, Nikki, you always have something for us. So what do you have for us today?
Oh, I don't know. I think I want to talk to everybody about the collaboration books and about the strategic expansion of your reach in business and as an authority when you write a compilation book like this. Between Ava and I, we are 10-time international best-selling authors in this space. So we can speak directly to our experience and our knowledge, and we can validate you on what it means to write a collaboration book and how smart it is, right, Ava?
Exactly, for sure.
The first thing we should talk about is like the power of borrowing authority. When you participate in a collaboration project like this, you're doing so with high level, successful entrepreneurs, business people. And you aren't just publishing a chapter, then you're aligning with a brand that is so much bigger than you and reaches out so much further than you. So automatically you get collective credibility. Being featured in alongside with experts instantaneously elevates your status and validates you as you're in your professional niche. And it signals to other people that you are a peer among successful leaders. And that's what people need to find. There's so many of us out there that we need a little bit of validation for us that is quiet and unspoken, that is stable and always there. Right, Ava? That works so nicely in our favor.
Definitely, it does. It expands and, gives so much depth into your life too, not just, from the business point of view, but also on a personal level too. So it's kind of in a way you stop hiding your voice, that wisdom that you have, you can share with others, and it helps on so many levels. For somebody it could be the story you share that changes their life. For others it's expansion into business, different avenues, and you scale up and you just keep growing from that.
Yes, absolutely. And a part of the bonus is you have that energy, you have that momentum. Our publisher is exceptionally good at what they do, Sally and Linda, and so they instill a certain effect of confidence and move forward. And there's an adrenaline there, and we all feel it simultaneously. And what happens there is we get this multitude of authors promoting the book simultaneously in their respective networks. And so the likelihood of hitting a best-selling status is significantly higher than if you were in a solo project. You gain the lifelong status of best-selling author in a fraction of the time. And in our experience, Ava and my experience, 10 times, the producers, the book publishers that we are affiliated with know exactly what they're doing and how to deal with things. And they have not fallen short of getting us to a best-selling status. I don't have one of these collaboration books that don't sit in a best-selling international position.
Yeah. And it's such a great feeling, the status, doing something that, it stands out and people see that. Like when I do my book signings, because I like and I enjoy that. The minute you say that you're a bestseller, people like, oh, really? Wow, tell me more, tell me more. Like, it does definitely stand out, just like, a doctor would or anything. It does hold its value. So I think that's really important. Aside from the stories we share and things we do with it, it does definitely stand the time. So
Yes, absolutely. And we have some expansion here too. Like if some of our books have 20 to 30 people in it, so you're being introduced to 19 or 29 other audiences that you would have never reached or have built into your network on your own. And this causes this cross pollination where listeners or readers they read your book and it causes a lead generation tool for you because you attract like minds. The person who has this person in their network is there for a reason, but like some people who follow Ava love Ava and her work, but they don't partake in her work. They just know they love her and they want to be around her. But if they hear something that I'm saying and they say, oh, she's so much like me, we may cross over. Like some of my people will cross over onto Ava and some of her people might cross over onto me. It's not like you're losing any business because those people were not intended for you, and these people would not really align with you in certain ways, regardless. But they are part of each other's network, and we do serve each other very well and very efficiently in this manner. Every time I produce a book, I always close a contract. Um, and it's either from the flow of others or it's from the magnitude of the energy of the attraction from that brings in that business. Either way, it's a direct result from the collaboration book, and it always grows me. It always does me better.
exactly. And the thing is, at some point you'll cross over with one person and another point you'll cross with a different one. And the thing is, our life doesn't stay constant, right? Before I had a child, I would always be, in a certain group. Once I cross into having kids, and okay, now in a different community, for example, looking for different solutions, maybe to, hey, how do I raise this kid in the best way possible? Because I may not obviously have that experience like somebody else. So as your life changes, you also change, either the groups you join or the things, or maybe there's a problem you're going through. Maybe all of a sudden you're facing divorce.
Mhm.
So now you cross over to a group that, hey, this is how I dealt with divorce. This is what I have versus, what this person has. So it helps them to solve the issue they're looking at that given time. So we can, at some point, actually, it's funny because I may have started only 2 years ago on the books, but I already crossed into different kind of communities based on what I'm doing, like building a business, being an author. Um, so things are always evolving. You're always shifting. You're always finding new people, new connections, and your business expands, and it just keeps growing. So yeah, it's an
Yes, yeah,
amazing.
I totally agree. Like this is high impact productivity. Like you might not have reached the person that you've reached indirectly because of the indirect subject that you talked about. Um, for you might have connected with them in a year from now, or you might have never connected with them. But the commonality, like one of the books I'm writing is talking about living in pain. So it has nothing really to do with my business, but there's a lot of us that work and try to do our best with living in pain. And those people might need my service, and I might have reached them in a year, or I might have never reached them. And I find that high, I call it high speed marketing.
Love that.
Yeah. And it gives you this kind of signature strategy where you don't have to talk about your business. I try to talk a little bit about my business and show validity in my knowledge, but some of the subjects we did, Ava, they're not directly to do with anything with our business, but they speak well for us regardless.
Exactly. Yeah, like me and my traveling. Some people just look at traveling as just, hey, well, you pack your bags, you off you go, and then you come back. But it's so much more than that because it helps you see things from a different point of view, which is part of mindset, what we teach, right? Helps you
Yes.
adjust, which is you adjust in business, just like you adjust in life. So it can connect with so many other things where sometimes we just look at things one way, but it's so much more than that. So writing books is something we love doing, but at the same time, we use it to their full potential, bringing new clients, connecting with new people,
Mhm.
reaching out and giving value to the world. So it's much more than just like, oh, look, I have a book. It's so much
Yeah.
more than the cover. Yeah, midlife. Yeah, these are all the books.
Yeah, this is what they look like. Yeah.
Yeah, and like Nikki mentioned, each book has X amount of people on the back, anywhere from 13 I've seen to, and 13, that means the chapters are usually much bigger, to 23, I believe, in this one, and so on. So they will vary
Yeah.
slightly in size, but they're all as valuable as the next one. So
Mhm. Yeah, they look like books. Some people who are selling their ebooks and so on have like a couple staples in the book and the pages are folded over. They don't quite look like a book per se, but these are literally books. Like Ava goes and does book signings and puts her books out with the stores that are in alliance with her all the time. And you can do whatever you like with these books.
exactly. You can go to bookstores, you can join other events. I personally sell them in person as well. I offer also ebook where I expand on the chapters I write in more detail because you can only write so much per chapter in one of these. But there's so many opportunities, right, Nikki?
Yeah, that allows for different or future partnerships. That allows for speaking engagements. It gives you referral networks that you're not aware of. Like when I opened my business, I didn't start writing the books yet. I was about a year and a half behind there. And, to look to see who to get in partnership with, who to get on a podcast with, who to get into, or what groups to get into with speaking engagements, where to go to get into a referral networking program. None of this was as easy for me to do as once I started doing these books because there's a there's some doors that open that you're not aware of, you don't think about at the time of when you're trying to put your best foot forward in a book.
Definitely. Yeah. So many things can be said here, but one thing I want to ask, why do you think people fear sharing their stories? What do you think, Nikki? Because some people sit on it for years.
Oh yeah, well, honestly, um, it's about yourself, right? It's about I had such it looked like I didn't, but I had such waning self-confidence, or I had a level of shame in an area that if you don't deal with it, it kind of eclipses a lot of other things and it really causes you to hold back. And a lot of people, I heard myself doing it because I was married to a professional musician, and one of my dear friends was an artist. So I was always saying, I'm not creative. Oh, I can't do that. I'm not creative. But it's not true. We all have stories of worth that are important to share with people. And we have to learn to put that foot forward more so than the pullback of thinking we don't relate or we don't rate in this forum or medium.
Hmm.
You know, I even saw that on your face when I introduced you to it. I think you were thinking, but English isn't my first language, and all that but language that we want to do but can't do because we think we have this holdback and we don't, right?
Yeah, we don't. And it's, mostly it's just in our mind because it's like, well, but it's like, well, sometimes it's your automatic, system of like protecting yourself. But it's like, really, yeah, it just goes so far beyond that. But yeah, I was also had those things, and I'm like, what? Nobody's chasing me. There's 101 tools I can use to clear up my English grammar. So why would I be, afraid? But for me, it was also, what would people think and stuff like that. But it's like,
Yeah,
when in your head you think a certain way, but on paper you can craft it to however you want it to make it a story that connects with people because not everybody wants knowledge. They just want you to share the story, how you went with it, how you lived through that experience or whatever you're writing about,
yeah,
and connect on a feeling level, not just like, oh, okay, this is more information. People want to, like, I remember when I was little and I used to read these Cinderella stories and,
yeah,
all these. I don't remember all the details, but I remember how they made me feel you
yes,
know
yes.
and
Even when we were younger, I think it was National Geographic, and certain times of the year they put this book together with short stories. And how many of us looked forward to that?
oh yeah, I remember some of those. I used to have them at home too. Yeah, just nice little nuggets of stories, wisdom, things like that. So
Yeah,
yeah.
and not only that, but like Ava has a really nice way of sharing information and going about. And I would never have experienced that if she didn't open up and share with me. I have another friend who is very Portuguese, and she has a great way of looking at things and causing you to understand and get a perspective of what's going on. And it's such a delight. It doesn't matter where or how you're thinking. It doesn't matter. There's like nothing that can stop you, honestly. You have the story, you have the heart, you have the compassion, you have the experience, and you have a team with you. You have a publishing team with you who, if you're stuck, they help you. If you're fearful, they'll get you out of it. Like there's really, we have so much to say in this life. And it's such a delight to share it. So many of my friends say, oh, I'm taking your book to the beach because I love all the different stories and reading. When's your next book coming out?
Mm.
You know, people like them.
Yeah, yeah. And it's nice because it's in a way like a escape code. Like you go, you relax, you read something, and then you feel good. Yeah, maybe yeah.
Yes.
Depends what you're reading, but I would be reading happy books. I don't do well with horror, so for me, I stay away from that because I get scared just thinking about it. But that's just me. But of course, I love, fantasy, good books, knowledge of books. I've read more books in the last 2, 3 years than I have probably my entire life, and stuff like that. So, and I love reading. And the thing is, you look like it's funny because you look at people now and you kind of look at them and it's like, and they don't say much because some people don't say much, but you look at them, it's like, I wonder what stories you hold within that you could share
Yes.
with the world that would really help another person. And then you're like, oh my God, but then you go to the bookstores, there's like 1,000,001 books. Yeah, but you know what? I call it divine timing and divine placement. When you're searching for something, it's searching you, and you will stumble upon the exact book you're supposed to read. How many times have you had that? You go to the bookstore, it's like, oh my gosh, that's exactly what I needed. Wow, and it
Yeah.
was just like right there. No other book stood out except that particular one. You read it, it's like, wow. how did you like how, you know? But that's why, you know, nowadays I look at people, it's like, I wonder what you could share, you know? And some people want to share, but all
Yes,
these buts
yes.
start coming out.
Yes.
Yeah,
But you know, there's one thing that we should also mention that's a little off topic, and that is a lot of us small business women or people are a little isolated. You know, I love the internet, I love the way I do work, but I am quite isolated. And it moves you toward a goal with a team that provides a level of accountability and a shared excitement that a solo project could never give you. So, experiencing a collaboration book is a very smart way to go.
definitely. But I always like talking from both ends because, you know, business is one thing, but the human, the connections come with it too. So that's what I like kind of showing both sides because, you know, sometimes we get stuck in one little area and then we can't see beyond that. So I love how you sharing the strategies, the business way, and then I jump all over into the other aspect, of course. But that's the great balance between things, you know. That's what makes it so colorful and so
Yes.
inspiring to do. And
Yeah.
it gives you so many things on different ratios, right?
Yeah. On a note, I'm going to finish this on a note of gratitude for myself. And, you know, the collaboration book, using my language, has really blessed me in more ways than I could probably express, and in ways where I would not have reached and crossed over certain terrain that I have. And my gratitude is for Ava, because I would have never met her otherwise. And although we're kindred spirits, we're also different enough that we can continue to collaborate and work together. And just every single time, it's a blessing, more and more and more so. And honestly, you would not find people like ourselves, like Ava, my finding Ava, or Ava finding me, if it wasn't for the reach that a collaboration book provides.
That's right. See, books do bring us together.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, so for those of you who are watching, you could ask yourself some questions, simple ones. What message do you hope readers will take away if you were to write a story, a book, a chapter? You know, what was that most emotional or meaningful part of, stepping into something new? What did you learn? Things like that. So, like, foresee yourself if you've been thinking about writing, what it would feel like already being, doing it, stepping into something new. And maybe what legacy do you hope your words will leave behind? Maybe you have lots of kids, grandkids, whatever your story, like, what could you bring to the table that will help humanity, right? So, so many things you could start asking yourself and just step into it, right? So yeah, the voices that are willing to speak truthfully are the voices that leave lasting impacts usually. So something to ponder upon. Anything else you'd like to add today, Nikki? Or we're gonna wrap it up and you know,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes, one more thing. We're both very sincere about helping you do this. And as you can tell, we're the same and different. So choose one of us. We both have our calendars available to you. We will sit down with you for half an hour and we'll listen to you and help you get started. Um, it's free. It's a free half-hour consultation. So please do reach out to one of us.
yes, definitely. And don't forget to follow us. We do have other exciting things coming up always every single month. So if you're not following us, please do so. And till next time, I truly hope you have a wonderful day. And Nikki, thank you so much for coming again. It's a pleasure to have you always talk about these things. There are exciting new concept, new things, always new ways of looking at things. So thank you so much for always being here and being so committed. So see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.
Bye.